Hello, this is Brian Adams. Hello, this is Bryden Dradams, and I got my first real six string in the winter of 2002. Welcome to Must Be Nice. I am your host, Evan Mumford. Thank you for tuning in to episode 7. This one's awesome. We've got my friend and fellow stand-up comedian Chelsea Liu on the show, and she's bringing education, she's bringing art, which are two things I think are, when I think about utopia, I think of those things both being present. But of course, it's a really hard thing to articulate, both those things. So I've given that task to Chelsea because she's a pro. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I know I had a pretty crazy one. I played drums in my band Off the Clock. We played a house show. It was awesome. My knuckles got bloody from the drums, and we had a great time. It was so fun to be playing again. And tonight, I'm lucky enough. My friend had gifted me some tickets to see Always, which are they are an awesome band. But more importantly, they have their singer is Molly Rankin, which is, being from Nova Scotia, it's kind of, if there's a Rankin in your presence, you're surrounded by greatness and genius, and you'd be a fool not to do what you can to make an appearance at one of their shows. I think Archie Marry Me is one of the coolest songs. For the music tonight, I've got my friend Noel McDonald's band, Washing Machine, with a song called St. Rita's Baby. I think it's a great song, and I think the video is really cool too, so I'll make sure to link it in the Facebook post. But that being said, hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. I've got a lot of great guests booked coming up here that I'm super excited for. We're going to see some more character work developing, and I hope you guys just stay tuned and feel free to subscribe and message me any questions or concerns you have. But yeah, that's it for now. You guys have been a pleasure. I hope you guys enjoy this episode with Chelsea Liu.
Science fiction, give me science fiction. Science fiction, give me science fiction.
Hello, citizens. This is your mayor. This is the one and only. This is your mayor. I hope you guys are having a good time. I just spent all afternoon with Taylor Monday. That guy is kind of a dick, to be honest with you, kind of a dick, and kind of put me in a foul mood, but I'll get it together because I've got a guest coming over. We're bringing education in, and I think this is the way to go. I think, people talk about the lack of agriculture. Well, how do we know what to do? How do we know to grow beans? Read it in a book. Education is the way out. I've always said that. So we're going to listen. We've got my friend Chelsea coming in. Thanks for coming up to my office. Was it, how was your introductory into my city? Was it okay trip so far?
Yeah, I got a rudimentary map at the beginning.
You did, yes. You're going to help me build the city.
Yeah.
And you came to me with education, which I love. I've always told my citizens, you got to read books.
Are they aware of books?
They're aware of them.
Yeah.
So what it is they're all from the old world. They've all lived a life before this world, so they're aware of books and such.
The concept of education.
Absolutely. Just in my city, there's nowhere for them to read books right now. So that's kind of like do we need books? Do we need education? That's where we're starting today.
So technically, the old world thing, this is interesting because technically they have a better grasp of the correct way to educate people and to learn than the new than people who came up in the common system. It's they're trying to get back to that now. There's the new draft it's the new draft curriculum, which I don't know if it's a draft anymore. When I was in school for I have a bachelor's of education,
right?
And when I was there, they were in the process of making this new draft of the curriculum, and the new draft is a lot more loose, so it allows teachers to teach whatever they want more broadly, and allow students to show them they have that knowledge in a variety of different ways in order to accommodate different kinds of learners. And most of it's procedural learning.
It's procedural.
Which is old world shit.
It is really old world. Do all teachers have to take part in this?
Yeah, it's in the public system.
So we'll find some draft dodgers for sure. Yes, this is great. Okay, so you're talking old world business. What it is in the old world, all my citizens and myself included, we're sick of everything, including the education system, most certainly. So some of the citizens here didn't go to school. Some are doctors, and we all have our own opinions about it. And we would love to have a system of some sort. Do you agree with this new draft? Is that something we want to do?
Well, as far as implementation of it, it's going to be, I don't know. That I don't agree with how they're going about it, because they're just kind of have at her. And it's people who have been teaching for 30 years. So
right.
I can see how the new curriculum could be abused by both students and teachers because it's allowing for more diverse learning and diverse tactics and like education tactics. That now you can just call anything something that can be graded or if you like everyone else is writing a 1,500 word essay.
Yes.
But because you're not comfortable with that kind of thing, you can make like a 10-minute video.
Oh, so you have options because they always talk about learning that some people are visual, spatial, etc.
Accommodating different types of learners. So like that's great in theory.
In theory, it sounds great.
But teens are so manipulative and so cunning and so like
right.
They're really.
You've experienced you've taught teens.
I have, and I've been a teen in high school.
Well, I'll stop you right there.
Okay.
My name is Chris Hansen, and then no, that's great. You were a teen, and you've taught teens.
I've been a teen in the old, like traditional learning atmosphere that everyone's familiar with. Grading, passing, failing, write the paper. If you don't write the paper, you fail.
Go to prom, get blood spilled on you.
The
whole thing.
Standard ass shit. But the new. So I've been through that.
Okay.
That's my understanding of education and as well as college. And then now I'm back into the shit.
Yeah.
Teaching with there's this new framework where like kids can claim whatever they want. And, the ones who probably should be claiming it aren't.
Right.
And I have to stress that like I get why that program is in place. But I also get why a teen will get a glint in their eye as they're saying it to you. Like they know that they have this tool in their pocket.
Yes.
They weaponize it. As soon as they realize they have it, it's a weapon. It's like by ninth grade, they're like, oh, I can just like, what teen wouldn't do that? That's literally programmed into their brains.
It is. And you're talking about a person defect here. And so you say the system in place without the human element is a great system. We're all human beings. We're decent human beings. Yeah. So I think if the system was in place, I would hope no one would take advantage of it.
But it's human nature to take advantage of this kind of system.
You really think so? I'm kind of hitting
human concessions. I'm gonna argue that the best laid plans, like your constituency. is your people are probably inherently good people, but the second that you give them those kinds of tools that can be used, but
that is the human element.
But we will say, for the sake of argument, if all of your people are good, upstanding farmer citizens and doctors. No, are they doing old world medicine, your doctors?
I don't have doctors nor hospital.
Oh, fuck. We got to get that in here.
We do.
Your next guy can bring in soap and stuff.
Absolutely. Well, I want to touch on something.
Okay.
Because you have to present this to me. You are bringing it to my city. I had a gentleman in here bring me a brewery. And we talked about the human element of liquor. What happens when you drink too much? You fight, you marry, you get divorced, etc. And he's like, no, your people are going to be good people. They're going to drink and enjoy it. And he laid it out to me. He agreed upon something, and we're good. Do you believe if I took this procedure where we would grade differently based on maybe your left arm hurts every second Tuesday or whatever it is, that procedure you agree with fundamentally, just you think people are going to take advantage of the loopholes?
Yes, 100%.
100%. Okay.
And I also disagree with your brewery guy. Okay. I disagree that.
Let's talk about it.
I just think no one is immune to, maybe not no one, but the average person is not immune to abusing systems that are in place that allow them to, have you ever seen Under Arrest? It's a Canadian Cops.
I have. It's like a Canadian Cops, but it's so much.
It's all alcohol.
Gnarlier every time. Yeah.
It's all alcohol. I bet those are really great people.
Yes.
But you you give people alcohol before you give them education. Yes. How long had they had alcohol before I showed up?
It's been some time here.
I don't believe in humankind enough.
That's fair, and maybe that's your place in the city. Maybe it's a place where no one who believes in humankind, and we're starting to kickstart it a different way.
I don't trust that good people can be dealt a bad hand. Like, I think alcohol is a bad hand. I also think the public school system's a bad hand.
Let's talk about public school systems.
Yeah, let's get back to it.
Because you should know this. This is a cultural podcast. I have a listener in Japan. Yeah, so shouts out to him.
Okay.
So, do you speak Japanese?
No, I don't believe that person's from Japan. I think someone fucked with their IP address so they could watch like weird tentacle porn.
Oh, you think it's a tentacle thing?
Yeah, for sure.
It could be.
They're Canadian, but they got a Japanese IP address for nefarious dark arts reasons.
I welcome that. I welcome.
Hey, there's room in this city for that man.
There is.
I am assuming.
There is. Now,
woman.
public school system, that's where, the city or the province, etc., federal government would support a school system where they pay the teachers and the kids go to school for free. The parents don't have to pay.
Yeah, for sure the Japanese know about the public school system. If that's who we're explaining this to. Guaranteed they're leaps and bounds smarter than us.
They absolutely are. And private schools, what? It's just where like you have a bunch of rich parents pay.
Privatized schooling is where it's at.
Let's talk
I
about
will
it.
say that right from the
I'm
get-go.
open ears. I am a benevolent mayor.
Well, because I think private schools are like Blade. Like there's all the strengths, none of the weaknesses. Like they actually do take the new curriculum into account. And I don't know if that's necessarily for the conversion into like post-secondary.
Right.
The private system's great. First of all, I mean you have to pay exorbitant amounts of money,
which is crazy because the people who should be getting the education most are the ones from probably the lesser class, right? Because they've been just through cycles of poverty and they want to get out of it.
Absolutely.
So the private system, I've never in the old world never understood it. Did you go to private school?
No. I did teach. I did a 1-day shadowing someone in a private school that's like it was like, uniforms, like wealthy.
Right.
Yeah. And those kids were definitely making me feel like shit about myself.
Yeah, no,
they're so good.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's kind of like when we talk about like AI and things. Like it's just like I don't want to be. They're robots to me.
They're different people. They will come out of that different people than their peers, and that's.
Yes.
I mean, there's no room for how many bright futures I saw in that building. There's what are they going to do in the future? What jobs are available to the generation under ours, Mayor?
Under ours?
Yeah.
Well, and then that's part of the reason I came here. That's why the city is being created. I think everything's falling apart in the old world. And as far as jobs, I don't know if you know this, but we do have a new system in place. We're not tipping. No tipping in my society.
I love that.
Because that's an existential nightmare, giving someone money.
I love that.
So we're paying the servers. They get a little stock profile with the company they join.
Okay.
So it's it still has that old school capitalist hustle.
Yeah, which everyone responds to.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone loves that hustle.
Well, I thought I hated capitalism until I thought about it. If I didn't have to work for money, I would just sit down.
Where would we be at without capitalism?
Right?
Where would we be right now?
I'd probably be better off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mentally.
Like if no one had it, yeah, maybe we'd be okay. But like,
okay, what do you like about private schools? They have uniforms. Do you like those? Those are weird.
no, that whole thing creeps me out.
Uniforms are creepy. Can we agree?
What I don't know if they're policing everything else in a school. Like meaning, like the reason that they think uniforms are good is because no one feels better than the other. No one's wearing anything out of hand. Like no one's wearing spaghetti straps, which for some reason shoulders are a big issue.
Is that what it is? That seems like a very optimistic way.
Well, what do you think? What would it be otherwise?
Conformity. I mean, but if you're saying the way you put it's like it makes sure no one's above each other.
I'm parlaying their rationale.
Their rationale.
This is them.
I think school should inherently be dirty. I've learned my brightest life lessons from throwing a rock at the wrong kid.
Well, there you go.
So I think we need violence in that stuff and privatization of anything. I'm against.
There you go. I think I was gonna go on that tangent earlier, and I kind of lost track.
Well, let's talk about this. So public schools, obviously, if this is the first school I'm putting in my city, immediately if I was like, hey, if you can afford it, come to this school, and we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
If you can't afford it, you can't go to school.
I think your town can only. Why don't you definitely start with the public school?
What kind of building can it be? I don't like the schoolhouse. Can we do like a different? Can we put it in like a?
Now, when you say schoolhouse, like, are they the ones that we're familiar with as well? Or are you talking about like old-fashioned school, like a farm?
Well, the farmhouses, even the buildings we know now, they're kind of drab to me. Like, I'd love to have like a different building or like something. What should we do?
So they're trying to do that with any new school that they're building. They're like putting a Starbucks into it.
No way. Influence of corporations in school. Like I remember like at my school there was all the food was just off brand, some lady's kitchen. Like there was no branding at all.
Yeah.
Even our VLTs are like not VLTs but the vending machines were just like Bob's lemonade. Like there was no Coca-Cola or anything.
Who is this Bob? What's his vested interest in our children?
Right.
It makes sense from a corporate standpoint, I guess, to corner those kids. But I think they also are just trying to like ingratiate themselves to this. Like this is a clueless generation trying to build for a generation they have no concept of.
Right. Okay.
Something that's still in its inception, really.
Yes.
Like if you look at, I just watched a Vine compilation earlier because
Yeah.
I just hate myself.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a different. It's like Dadaism. It's a generation of just of nonsense, and it's kind of interesting and fun that way.
Why don't we take?
There's no structure, so they're like, give them a Starbucks. They didn't know what to do with it.
don't
Give
know
them
what to
touch screens by the trophy case.
Man, Vine. Let's take that idea. We should have like 7-second
Educational Vines.
educational vines,
Yes.
right? You and 1492. Like,
I have a lot of friends who are teachers, and one of them back in where I'm from, hometown. She teaches troubled youths,
Okay.
and they are. They made like a YouTube, like every week they do like a YouTube like carpool karaoke thing,
Oh, okay.
like to tell the kids what like events are coming up that week. And I guess it's getting like a good response, which like if I was a teen, I would have been like, what the fuck? But that's what we're dealing with is like
my school did that. We did carpool karaoke. It was just Everybody Hurts by R.E.M. week after week.
in a car,
In a car.
and no one's recording it.
Oh, no. Very painful. That's cool. I've also I've always been a fan of the School of Hard Knocks, just because you know when they're at your door. Anyway, let's take this a little more seriously. Let's talk about that. The immediate attention. We have such a small attention span these days. Do you think kind of a Vine-esque school would work? You walk into a room, 7 seconds of information.
Yes, the new curriculum has taken into account new brain research about teens.
That's right. Okay.
So they've put so much money and effort and time into making this thing so cohesive and comprehensive, and so like they started taking it like brain, like they were like there's some things like institutionally they couldn't do, like they were like, okay, we found out that teens can't retain information until after 10:30 a.m.
No way.
We cannot, because their parents are in school. Our parents are at work. They have
Right.
to drop them off.
Right.
They have to come here at whatever 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like we got to make do. I guess we got to know that they're not going to retain anything until a certain time. Like it's like
Maybe that's when you create. For the first 2 hours, you create things.
yes, but then again, then you have to have a lot of create teachers. You have to have a lot of create specific teachers.
Do you? Because I know you also are familiar with art and stuff. Do you feel like there are too many teachers who don't have that side of things? It is the STEM aspect.
Well, that's the other thing about this new curriculum is that they're trying to bring in more cross-curricular competencies. That's what they're called. And so, like, they want you to think like, but the way they're trying to do it in middle school, so I taught in a middle school, a history class would come into my art class, and they were
Right.
like, "We are going to make." We're doing like cuneiform, like we're gonna make our own currency today, and
okay.
like show us how to, hand print money.
Right.
And whatever. And so like that kind of thing. And like they're trying.
So you would say in the old world, education is being refined. It is something is happening with the education system. It's moving towards.
Yeah. And I also I took an Indigenous education course. I don't know like how interesting this is gonna. Well, anyways, I took an Indigenous education course, and the like big thing is that like that was like a case study, but a very specific kind of learner, because they're Indigenous people here are used to learning things procedurally and without words. Like that's like generations of throughout the communities, like they tend
Right.
to just be like, oh, we're gonna learn how to spin yarn today. Watch me do it.
Right.
And you don't like, so when you have that's a completely different kind of learner. So it was just this really interesting way to
Procedural. Like that's actually kind of how I learn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, when people explain things to me, I'm never the best, but if like I just watch them do it at least once or twice, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing.
Yeah.
I get that. Maybe I'm Aboriginal. I don't know. I don't know. What's like a utopian education system look like? And yeah, you can include human element, as you know. You seem to be kind of a darker person and kind of cynical, and you can throw that in there as well if you'd like.
I don't know. I think it's more realistic. I think the public system is well-meaning, and it's lacking in execution right now, because so like the class composition thing is like they're kind of throwing teachers into class situations that they're not used to if they've been teaching for like 30 years.
Right.
They're like suddenly they have all these different kinds of learners, and they're like, now give them all fidget spinners. Like literally, like it's not a joke. Like
That's
give them
a
all
real
fidget
thing.
spinners and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
do this and that, and they're all just kind of like, I don't know how to function within this.
Yeah.
So that doesn't fit in the utopia that we're trying to make here. I don't think the public system means well, and it's not like how much of this is me expecting your public to be able to just be on board.
Well, the deal is they're very trustworthy of me. I've had no complaints yet. There's a couple troubled individuals. We have them named and tagged.
I like that system. Who brought that system?
Yeah, a couple different influences there actually, but we're trying to stay on top of them. And from what I've understood from my folks here is they're happy with what way things are going, but there is a certain need of growth, and I think education's the way out. I think education is such a beautiful thing. I grew up in a factory town. Well, and it's a great thing. You get out,
harmonica, and
everything.
Some Bruce Springsteen interludes.
Dust everywhere. I grew up in the Dust Bowl, and no one ever credits me for that. But yeah, it's something I value personally. Whether we'll use it accurately or not, I don't know. But I want to have like a place. I'm all about like buildings. I want people to go to buildings. And I don't want like a school building because I don't want it to look like a school. You know what schools look like?
Yes,
like the playgrounds and like a jail.
Yeah.
I want something else.
Yeah.
What can we do?
Okay.
How can we make this happen?
Okay, so I'll tell you what we don't want, and then I'll tell you what's happening here that we might want to take elements of. So what we don't want is like, here's what we do want.
What do we want?
There's several public schools here that people I know have shadowed here. They just take them to the ocean for the day.
Okay.
Okay. And they're like, what do you want to learn? And they're like, I want to learn how to make weapons. And they're like, all right, and then they just teach a kid how to, make tools. And then they
educate them correctly.
About really specific things.
I am so into this idea.
Okay. Then you would love taking your kid. There's a lot of schools that are like, oh, we just all, they go into the mountains and they learn about, tasks in the mountains.
That's Boy Scouts.
It's Boy Scouts. I think that they try to imbue them with things with what we would consider like curriculum, curricular competencies.
Yeah, Christopher Columbus came.
Yeah.
I'm bored with that stuff. Like
we have to ask ourselves what the end game is after this education. Right. If we don't mind that these kids can't take this stuff into a college, then that's great.
Oh, 100%. There's
no room in a college. No. For a college in this.
I have no interest in post-secondary. I want you to go to school and educate yourself as much as possible to be fulfilled. Okay. It's a one-stop shop.
Okay.
One-stop shop. Okay. So the idea of if like Johnny wants to learn how to make a gun, I support that 110%.
Yeah, as long as that school is imbuing them a sense of like what's the word? If they want to accomplish things, then we're in really good shape.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you get kids into that kind of environment, I taught in, I inherited someone's art classroom for a couple of months.
That's right.
They were like, if they tell you that they're not feeling it today, if they don't want to create art today, you can't make them.
No.
And so you go there and they just be like, yeah, I'm just not really feeling it today. And like, so what that classroom was trying to be is what this, Orca Institute or whatever is trying to be, which is like, hey man, Johnny's gonna go out into the woods. You tell me what you want, but it's you're bordering on the same territory where like he's gonna come out at the end of it aimless.
Aimless, okay.
If you come out of the woods like in grade 12 and you're like, I know how to make a really bitchin' gun, but I'm a little too lazy to do anything with that information.
I mean, that's the human character themselves. Hopefully, they're strong enough to take that gun and do. That's
the school's job is to bring you that strength, foster that strength, foster that sense of wonder. There's a 19-year-old blacksmith in the UK who's like crushing it. And he just taught himself. His parents were like, drop out of school.
Really?
Fucking do it.
Just do it.
Hey, man, you're crushing it in the blacksmith game. Yeah. And he got out, and now he's got this very successful YouTube channel. Every day he makes different things.
That's very cool.
And that's him just self-directed. That's a guy who has the fire in his belly and didn't need anyone to tell him. So if little Johnny's out in the woods and he just has that inherent fire, no one's got to worry about him.
Perfect.
But
you're worried about the 90% of kids.
Most kids are going to need
direction,
structure. More so than like we are going to go for we're going to go to our community garden for the day. We'll learn how to garden, and maybe that's important for the post-apocalypse. Like I don't know how much gardening. Someone's going to bring gardening to you guys because you fully need it.
Yes, we do.
What are you guys eating without produce?
Only thing we have to eat so far is poutine. There's a French Quarter.
Yeah, that'll affect education as well.
Absolutely.
Can't think straight without those bites.
Yeah. how about this? We cut it in half. We have like a self-direction segment where if the children want to be self-directed, they'll get like a little.
I'm in this. I don't know how this turns out for the kids if the more choice we give them.
More choice. Less choice is better.
They say more choice.
Yes.
And the proverbial they are the people who have done the research to make this draft curriculum.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's trying to, which I'm only using not as like a blue, like a standard, but as like something that people have distilled a bunch of information about the nature of education and in like contemporary youth. So like, if we take that into account, like the
more choice,
the more choice, the more a kid is going to use it as a weapon.
Oh, okay. We're going back to this human element.
I swear to God, and I think it's more so like maybe in like a kid from the 50s,
right?
Maybe like an industrial era youth,
right?
But like we are in a new generation that we're still figuring out the vines of. We're starting to decipher their Slender Man stories
Whatever
and
that
stuff.
stuff
Whatever
is.
they're about, we still don't fully know about. But like I guess we know about their brains. I guess we've looked into their brains.
Less choice.
I don't know.
What do you want?
So the proverbial they says more choice.
Yes.
I'm very scared of giving them more choice.
Yes.
But they're highly irresponsive.
You're afraid of children. All right. Well, I'm just thinking of what we're going to do with this education system.
I wish I had more answers for you. I just realized I don't.
You know what we're going to do?
I just know what I don't want.
And you don't want that here's a butterfly, learn how to turn it into a slug.
And hey, if you can't really do this, it's not for you, but one of these things you are good at. Like the old system that you and I came up in.
Yes.
You have to be good at everything. Get a good mark in science, get a good mark in math, get a good mark in art and theater. Like you have to be good at gym. Like they're like they want that their aim was a well-rounded individual.
That's right.
And they started looking around and they were like, "Oh, in Japan, they learn how to do one thing expertly."
That's right.
Why aren't we doing mastery level learning? Why aren't we just deciding what that kid is good at and letting them do that? So like that's where the whole, hey man, you can't write a paper. I get it. Make us a 5-minute video instead.
That's right.
As long as it's covering the topics, I have something to mark. In theory.
In theory,
that's helping them get towards the goal of like, you don't have to be good at everything.
You don't have to be good at everything.
But just show us that you're getting some of these concepts. Just major core, overarching concepts, not even core concepts
That's
anymore,
right.
really.
That's right. What I'm kind of sensing and what I'm kind of smelling here is the education system is such a mass problem and everyone has different brains. So for what I recommend now is for citizens, if they want to learn, I have books and you can come see me. We can't possibly have a system in place. We can't.
Well, they're trying desperately to try to like hold all these corks down, and like with that Mark Twain reference, where like it's just trying to hold a bunch of corks underwater. Like there's only so much you can do. They're trying desperately.
There are societies without educations, right?
Certainly, yeah. Sure. Yeah,
those places. I don't know what we can do
if people just take their education to that. So when you say old world,
yes,
what era are they from? Are they from like The Village, like M. Night Shyamalan?
No, absolutely. They're
Bonnets.
They're people you and I know now.
Oh shit! So they're not like they're not
generation.
from the pure time. They're from a terrible time.
Old world, as in before they came to the city.
Yeah.
So they could be of varying ages, but they've all lived in the current generation we're aware of.
I think that what a lot of people, especially in the public system, I gotta say, there's a lot of people who are saying that the non-structured educational system is the utopia. Like, that's much better.
The non-structured.
Yeah, for everyone, for the educator and for the student.
Yeah, but you as a teacher you're not getting on board with that. And I'm having a real life input from a teacher. And I don't know if I want to jump on board with it either. You have experience in this. You have a very qualified opinions.
It's just a lot of things that are broken.
Yeah.
About
the human
structure
spirit
of it.
is broken. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. And we're trying to fix that here. And I don't know if we're ready for this. I don't know if you're ready for
public education. Are we going to do homeschooling?
I
don't think you can leave it to the discretion of the parent.
There's no homes. There's no homes. There's subsidized.
Oh, no one's brought homes yet?
No, there's subsidized housing.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't call them homes.
Who's paying for the housing?
I'm paying for them.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
Thank you. I mean, I've got a nice house.
Hey man,
yeah.
Socialism works when it's one guy paying for it.
When it's one dude doing everything, yeah. It's kind of stressful. I had to put an education system in place.
What's your day job to pay for their houses?
I've been indebted money. And people have definitely asked me where I've gotten the money from, but I can't go into too much detail. But know that it is there, and there are $1 million.
Yeah.
In
There's $1 million.
$1 million.
A single $1 million.
There is.
Okay.
We've broken it up.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've started giving some to the bank. They need money.
How much did you get the houses made for?
Each house, there's approximately 7 different subsidized housing. Each one is $5,000.
You only have 7 houses so far?
Yeah. There's families.
They don't need a public system at all.
Not
No
yet.
public education.
Just kind of talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves. Figure it out.
Talk amongst
Get
yourselves.
on social media. Rattle some pots and pans.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do this for now. Talk amongst yourself. If you have any questions about making a gun, talk to somebody about it.
Talk to me.
You can always come to me. I'm here for you guys
mayor.
at all times. And I mean, that's pretty much it. I can't do this. I can't have an education system. I was blown away by the last one. It kind of frustrated me, and we can't do this.
Okay, good. Okay, we're all right. That's fair.
Talk amongst yourselves.
I think this is a really safe bet.
I want to say thank you,
Thanks for having me.
and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right. Talk amongst yourselves. It doesn't seem like the best education system, but I agreed to it at the time, mostly because I don't think we have a fit yet. I don't think we can. What she brought to the table kind of explained just what I was thinking. The education system, as we know it, is a mess. The old curriculum is kind of weird and British and cold, and the new one is, I guess, too liberal. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to really decide for myself. So for now, just talk amongst yourselves, and that's it for now. She didn't want to leave though. She wants to bring art as well. And as you guys know, I've talked about art so many times with multiple guests because I want that here, but I don't want it here because it represents a violence. We're gonna see if she can explain it to me in a better way. Chelsea, what's going on? What are we doing here?
Well, when I heard that you didn't have a cultural center of your place, I thought we should probably have an art gallery.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I do have a French quarters, which is a cultural thing.
Are you allowed to remove things from your city?
100%.
Can we remove the French culture?
Right. Okay, so we have the French quarters, which in itself would have art, presumably.
Okay.
But, and we've had probably 3 or 4 past guest speakers try to introduce the concept of art. But my whole thing has been art is based on, the best art is from a society or from a personal oppression. Mm-hmm. The best art is from violence, depression, etc.
Yeah.
So I don't have that in my city. It's a beautiful place. People are happy walking around.
I have just the thing for
Let's
that.
do it.
Okay. So we're going to have a gallery, right? Is that the premise?
I would love a building where my folks can go to reprieve from the cigarettes.
Yeah. But you want to bring them some kind of, not dystopia, but you want to bring them some kind of strife, a knowledge of strife.
This is what the world looks like from certain eyes.
Yeah, I think then here's the best angle for your first gallery because you got to have a couple, or you have to have a couple different wings. But let's have a gallery, contemporary gallery. Why don't we call it a contemporary art gallery?
Yes.
And now we got to bring some Russian movement stuff. We got to bring the suprematist. We got to bring suprematism, and especially my favorite piece.
Suprematism.
Okay, Russian suprematism. So like it's just all shapes. Mm-hmm. But it represents strife in Russia in the revolution.
Perfect.
You like I'm just gonna show you. I know this is a visual element that's not gonna work, but like just shapes.
That's chaotic.
Because it all represents oppression.
It does. I'm not going to deny that. I'm a citizen, Chelsea. I'm drinking. I'm smoking. I want to go see some art.
We're talking about abstraction that's gonna really cut to the core.
What's it going to do? What's it going to do for a citizen?
They're gonna look at it.
And
they're
what?
gonna know they're gonna know what's okay. It's a window on other cultures.
It is.
It's a window on other mentalities. It's
Artists.
a window on other. Yes. Only painting you need is the black square from Kazimir Malevich, and it's literally just like a painting of a black square, but it's like on a white canvas.
This is why I'm afraid to bring art. This is why I'm afraid to bring culture.
It's a waste of money.
It's a waste of everyone's time.
No, not this one. This one represents all art. Like this was like the first guy to be like, oh, if we distill everything down,
right? And well, citizens, they know. I'm gonna make sure they know what this is. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at it for the first time. That's just a black dot.
Nope, it's a square. It's a black square.
I've misread it already.
Yeah, but it's painted onto a white canvas, so it's representing a black square. It's not the whole canvas is a black square.
Right.
Here's a picture of a black square.
Continue. I'm gonna let her go.
I painted it with my hands. It's not a hard thing to do. In fact, everyone can do it, much as the Russian Revolution was touting. Like
Right.
this is a for the people piece.
May I remind you? There's
It's the best piece of art.
That's fine. May I remind you? There's no food here. We have poutine, and you're bringing it in this. May I say bullshit? May I say that?
I'm gonna change your mind about Black Square because this is the Bruce Springsteen of art.
I don't see the reprieve.
I swear to God, I tried to bring gardening and like agriculture, and then I got talked out of it. Now I'm bringing a Black Square, but it's so important. This is the most important piece of art.
Okay.
Okay.
I walk into the art gallery. I see a black square.
Yeah.
What does that do to a person's day?
Sometimes it makes people angry
Okay.
because they're like, I could do that, and Kazimir Malevich would say,
Yes.
"Fuck yeah, you could do it."
That's the whole
Stopping you.
premise.
Why am I more important than you? I'm not. We are all,
I
a
did this.
society.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, I'm
Okay.
going to convert you on this because this is Bruce
She's
Springsteen
good.
ass.
She's doing good.
Okay, so, and he's not just painting he's not giving you a black square. He's giving you a picture of a black square. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's depicting nothing. And before this, it was 1912. Like, this guy's punk rock.
Oh, wow.
And everyone hated him. So 1912, you're painting nothing, a picture of nothing. While everyone was painting, the whole mode in Russia at the time was like, we only depict images, scenes, we depict realism. High realism was like so
Right,
important. And so this
right.
guy saw that and was like, why? Like, why? And so to combat that, he painted nothing, like a picture of nothing, and presented it in a gallery in the top corner of
That's
the room, which is
crazy.
traditionally the Russian Orthodoxy for the most iconic
Okay.
images of
Okay.
their religion. He'd be untouchable in this society. So this guy hung it in the corner of the gallery that was in Russian Orthodoxy considered to be like the most important. He's imbuing it with that kind of power. And then like he would just sit there and think about it all day. Like he would just sit and think about his black square like all day. And like people just got really annoyed with him. They were like,
Can you imagine?
this guy's a douchebag, and like he's presenting us something that's not art. In our opinion, it's not art. And so he died penniless and alone. And this was
That's fine.
his tombstone
Yeah.
is that black square.
No way.
Because he's like, fuck all of you.
Really?
This is everything. To him, it represented everything. And I agree. I think that if you're old world people are already coming in with a concept of art, why don't we just go ahead and start fresh with the concept that everything is meaningless? Let's just start with absurd. Like
Okay.
we're gonna start at the core, and that is nothingness.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
But we're going to retreat a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about nihilism and how nothing is anything.
Yeah.
But you introduced this originally, and why I got pepped up as a mayor is because you said this was an inspire. This would create it. We're all the
This is
same.
kind of inspiration. Okay, so but you said you wanted your citizens to feel like they
reprieve.
they were looking reprieve.
Yes.
They're looking beyond their boundaries.
Yeah,
Of
okay.
the invisible boundaries of their city. What's beyond that is other ideas.
They're not
These
invisible
are incredibly,
boundaries.
Russian ideas.
They're not invisible boundaries, but that's fine.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I do have borders.
Hey, I'm not. I was kind of going to bring that as well. I was going to bring that and a strict death penalty. Let's move on from the black square because all I'm trying to bring you are the most iconic and important works.
Can I make my own black square? Can I be the
That's
art gallery?
exactly.
Can the citizens be
You don't
the
have to
art
pay for
gallery?
one of these. Paint your own black square. Save a lot of
okay,
money.
okay.
Because that's exactly what anyone can make this. This is the building blocks of the Russian Revolution.
Should we have the citizens make their own black square and put
Yeah,
it in
you're
a
gonna have the
gallery?
most woke citizens if you just are like, guys, today we're not working today. We're eating poutine and
That's true.
We're all painting the black square like an
Yeah.
iconic like. It's something to be appreciated, but I think it's also supposed to be like a hands-on, like the grassroots kind of vibe. So
I'm going to have the most woke plumbers in the fact that they'll be awake at all nights fixing our
is plumbing
toilets.
been brought to your city?
So I've spoken about this previously, but plumbing is certainly here. I've been granted a land with plumbing in roads,
Yeah.
so I don't have to do that,
Okay.
thankfully. But you're right. I mean, I kind of like the idea of putting the art in the consumer's hand.
So then maybe it doesn't need to be a brick and mortar building. I'd rather you had a brick and mortar building
Okay?
because that's what they always say, is that art is completely different when like you have to be in the room with it. And I guess that's true. It has
Is
its
that
own-
true?
I guess.
So you showed me this on your little phone here.
I've never seen it in person. Who knows what? All I know is it's super cracked up because everyone didn't give a shit about it.
That's interesting.
So like it looks like shit, and you know, it looks like garbage. It's been worn. There's no reason to really see it in person.
I will say, I feel like
it's huge.
if I was standing in front of that, just myself, I would have a mental breakdown.
Okay.
I know I would.
Yeah, the scale of it is such. Well, there's a barrier, which is that it's all cracking, so it kind of brings you back into reality. So I think so the reason I brought this one up is because it's like widely considered to be the 0 point of painting. It's the nothingness.
Okay.
This is baseline.
This is
is where
baseline.
art begins is by removing everything. So I'm giving you this one first. That's a really important piece for you to put as a baseline.
I'm okay with this.
Okay, now let's put in another one that's along the same vein. So like this is another one I love is the Erased de Kooning, and it's this guy. And in the 70s, okay, the work was created in 1953, and then this Robert Rauschenberg convinced de Kooning to give him a piece, like a piece that's like not negligible. Give me one of your pieces and I'll erase it. And he was like, no. And so he got the guy really drunk and was like, "Here, let me explain to you my vision of what, you know, like why this is important for me to remove this." And so he's like, okay. And so he gave him a piece, and he regretted it afterwards. But he gave him this art piece and had him erase, and then he just erased it like systematically. It took him like a lot of time, which is another argument. Is that like he didn't do any of it.
No.
His only action was erasing it, but that's still labor intensive. It took him
It is.
like 2 days, like of like straight erasing.
People get their tattoos removed.
It's a painting, so like an eraser's not gonna. But the whole idea was that like he's still doing. There's deliberation. There's still the artist's hand there, but he's removing it. So like it's taking art to like, this is still bullshit. Like you erase it, you take away its meaning. Art is bullshit.
This is a lot of like heavy duty bullshit. I love it.
It's a nearly blank piece of paper. They don't even bother to put it on this Wikipedia article. They're like, it's blank with like a bit of
Just like little date.
some but then they put it in a gold frame to give it this like
Right.
Again, it's the same as like hanging it in the corner of the gallery as an icon. It's now you've given this gilded frame, you're elevating it, you're putting it on a pedestal, and then you just take it away.
Hey, I get it.
Art is bullshit.
Art is bullshit.
Okay, so art doesn't exist. Art's baseline. Art is bullshit. Do you want to go the pendulum swing? Do you want to go into the next? You want to go some hardcore?
Well, what I want to say is that
meaningful
the whole erasing art thing is I've seen it before. There was one of the first punk bands in Canada, Da Slime. They're from Newfoundland, and they put their first record out by just taking old classic albums, just like whatever ABBA, whatever it was at the time, and just would scratch the record, put their own in there, but use like old inserts and just put Da Slime on it. So you'd get like a Mamas and Papas record, but
that's great.
It said to Slime. So it's a whole erasing the original artist, putting your own self on there. Yeah. I get that. That's great. That is art is bullshit. That's fine in the old world, but in the new world, I don't see. You're criticizing something that doesn't exist.
But it's new world shit. This is exactly why you got to start with this stuff.
But it just sounds like
if this isn't there, then all we're going to be looking at is like this artist spent 10,000 hours doing a hyper realistic charcoal painting, and that's all that we appreciate. Yes. You have to do what like Bjork did with music, which is like learn it extensively, learn it from a classical sense, and then just remove all of that. Like she knew like how to fuck with it by like getting in on the inside track.
This is all culture we're not really interested in. Like the whole art is bullshit thing. We know that. So you have to think of it as like we're going.
So I need to bring the stuff that like BuzzFeed is like this hyper realistic mountain painting will leave you breathless.
I don't want you to bring that because you're so far removed. I'm walking to the art gallery. Oh, there's a nice black painting of a black square.
Yeah, I feel like your average citizen might hate it.
But if I know Cindy made that, or whoever one of my fellow citizens made it, I like that concept.
Nice black square, Cindy.
We all do that, right? We build our own art.
Maybe you guys need to be building their art. Nope. I'm going to cancel that because here's what happens. You ever see coffee shop art? No one ever told them that they weren't good at this.
Is that what it is?
Not a single one of them know that they shouldn't be doing this. So if they've never learned, they're just kind of like, I've seen things. I have this.
So what you're looking at there is art inherently is expression. But what you're saying is people are just copycat.
Yeah, I think I already hate your citizens and expect the worst of them.
I think you do. And I think we're kind of hitting a point here that I didn't speak earlier about it because I'm a gentleman, but you have a real darkness to you. I think our conversations are great, but I'm kind of, I don't know what you want to bring. You want to bring pain? What you want to bring? Nihilism?
What are you guys going to do without nihilism?
You think we need it, eh?
You'll get there eventually. You might as well start. You'll get there. You're already there. Cigarettes and beer and poutine?
No, it's okay. There's jobs available. But if we were to have an art gallery, I just don't know.
Someone curates it. No, we can't have people make their own art because it's just going to be a gallery of shit art.
Of bad art. You don't want that. What
I don't think that's important. I think that's just cyclical. If you go in there, nice job, Cindy.
Right.
Everyone's learning from Cindy, or they're learning from they're learning. No one's really developing until you like this like the thief in the night thing. Like art is stealing, blah blah blah, which is not. It's not full stealing. But you see what fucking de Kooning's doing over there. Oh, erasing shit. I can just do that.
I can just do that myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I give you this, you have 2 paintings, which are fine. But let's do. You give me 5 paintings, and I will have those in my city. I'll put it on record. If you come to this art gallery, you will see these 5 paintings. You've given me 2. The second one is nothing. Yeah, literally nothing. It's a blank space.
Yeah, and the other one's also nothing. It's a picture of nothing that someone painted instead of removed.
So that's 2.
Yeah,
not great.
Yeah, I think. Well, then you got to go hyperrealism from Renaissance, and then you got to go like Impressionism from France. You got to do like a Cézanne or like.
You're reading from a book. What makes you? What do you want to see?
These are all just principles. Like what I'm saying is like
forget the principles. This is a new city.
The principles are important.
There we go.
Wait. So what this new city? What do I want?
Yeah, man. Like you as a citizen, you want to go to an art gallery. You've had a weird day at work. You've been at the bank for hours.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what they want.
Perfect.
Thomas Friedman, contemporary artist. He built a square stool, and people were like, "Is that it? Is that it?" And then one time someone sat down on it and they were like, no, the art is that he made a microscopic ball of dog shit that he put on, human shit that he put onto this stool. That'll make people happy.
Oh, that's...
The thought of danger and someone sat on the ball.
Can you explain that a bit more? There's a... So he made like a stool.
He made a stool. Like it just looks like furniture.
Okay.
This cube is like contemporary furniture. Or not even furniture. I think it's just a cube. It wasn't supposed to be. Like it's this sculpture of a cube. And then you just have the knowledge as the viewer that there's a tiny, almost imperceivable perfect ball of human shit on it.
Like a dust mite, like a dust
I think
dollop.
it's a bit bigger than that. Yeah, it's a bit bigger than a dust mite.
But there's shit.
It's human shit.
Love it.
Yeah. And then that'll make people happy.
I'm on board personally. Do I get to pick whose shit it is?
I think it's yours.
And we get to watch people sit on that.
Yeah. This woman sat on it, and the artist like freaked out, and he came out of the bushes and was like, "Let's get this shit ball off of her." This fucking idiot sat on the art.
Hey, you've won me over on this one.
That's a fun one. That's the first thing that came to mind when you said like, "What do we put in here?"
That's our
like,
jackass.
At the end of the day, you come out from work.
I mean, that's
there's a square. You look like, well, that's clearly it's not the art. That's a piece of shit square.
Right.
I'm gonna sit on it. And you get the mayor's shit on you. It's kind of like a roulette.
That's a prank. That's not art. I guess pranks are art.
I don't think he meant it for it to be a prank. She was just an idiot. But I think we can adapt it.
Oh, that wasn't his purpose to like hide in the bushes, be like, I'm going to watch you shit on my shit.
No.
Sit on my shit.
Yeah, so that's less fun. Art is never fun. Let's think of another fun piece.
Okay, that's 3. You have 5 allocated to you. And I won't tell you how close you are to getting it, but if you win this art gallery, it's going to be quite a big deal for me.
Oh, I might not get it?
Oh, absolutely.
I thought that I was... all right.
You should know more than anyone. Nothing in this life is guaranteed.
Okay. Let me see if I can't... What's his name? Damien something. The guy who puts dead sharks. Do people like dead sharks in your city?
People like animals of all sorts.
Okay.
Preferably
so
alive.
Dead.
Oh, no.
Damien Hirst, he just does it. All he does is just like dead things in a big box.
We'll probably stay away from.
Okay. Yeah. Art is inherently, it's not fun.
Art is inherently not fun. Okay.
Although, and this is for the gentleman who's listening in Japan.
Okay, do it.
Takashi Murakami, super fun guy. And he's doing just like...
What's he doing?
So there's this one sculpture that he did, and it's this like anime character just jizzing a big, beautiful... Oh yeah, he did a Kanye West thing. He's just jizzing a bunch around him. That's fun after work.
That's kind of fun.
Like, I'm just trying to think of something that's lighthearted.
Hey, Ann and Chelsea,
referential.
You don't have to do that.
I don't have to?
I like fun things, but if you don't... These are your picks. What would you like to see?
I'm trying to ingratiate myself because you said that I might not get to fucking...
Oh, you're trying to kind of hustle, yeah. I personally would like a fun one, and this guy seems fun.
Yeah, so he makes his own like fake characters that are like fantastical and...
Yeah.
No, like there's nothing really to dissect there.
I would totally allow that in my city.
There's nothing really to dissect.
It's not really
kind of like...
It's not that perverted either. I'm not one of perversion.
It's pretty perverted. He has a big red cock.
Yeah, but it's a fun cock.
and it's like a lot of jizz.
It's an absurd amount of jizz. That's why it's fun.
Yeah, it's like a Kanye West kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
you know,
perfect.
it's like, you know, maybe we just do all like cool like 2000s guys.
Well, that's number 4. I'll have that in.
Okay.
You've got one final piece.
Jizz cowboy. Oh, I only did. Oh, that's right. I thought I had 10. I forgot it's.
You know, think about it. So fun is great. I had a tough day at work. Maybe I want to think. Maybe I'm having trouble with my life situation. I live in subsidized housing, and my partner is frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? What do I need as a citizen? Why am I going to the art gallery? Why am I walking?
I already have in there things that remind them that they have their own hand and like they can. It's recognizable. It's something they can do. I have in there something that's genuinely lighthearted. I have something that reminds them that all of this is actually bullshit.
Mhm.
You know what people seem to really, really moved by, which is like basic level shit, but like that's fine. It's like anything like by like Van Gogh, just like really moves people.
Can I personally say from experience, Picasso for me, when he had Picasso blue,
Oh,
then
okay.
like pink. So like when he lost his friend
Yeah,
to suicide, and
Yeah.
he for years all his paintings were drab and
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah.
I love that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That's moving. That's a classical piece.
Okay, so we're going. So like we're talking like blue period of any like some artists blue period,
You want
something moving in a sad way.
it is moving. It is moving. Maybe we need a little bit of that
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. We,
know?
we definitely need something with imagery.
because there's sports here too. And by the way, the gallery's next to the sports center. I want the two cultures to kind of.
Oh,
I
so we
know.
can't. We gotta make it.
So they're going to be in there. Your
obviously-
sports are going to be in there.
Then we got to go real high realism. That seems to really impress people. Which, and it's not to be derisive about people
Nope.
who do that because that's a real skill, but it's a skill.
Let's talk about high realism. Can you kind of define that a bit more?
It's something that looks real. You can't really see the brush strokes. You can't,
Mm-hmm.
or you know, so to speak. Like you just can't see. You can't see that it's been created.
Okay, sure.
People love that.
Sure.
Because it's aspirational on some level, or
Mm-hmm.
it's impressive. It's just impressive, and there's nothing to think about. It's
Mm-hmm.
like watching two broke girls. Like you're just kind of like,
Right.
I know what this is. Like Chuck Close is this guy who would just paint things like in pixels basically. But
Mm-hmm.
then when you back up, it looks like a perfect. It looks like like a photograph through like glass cubes.
Okay.
And so like, and the only reason he started painting that way is because he got in a car accident or something, and he was like debilitated. Like he couldn't use his hands in the same way. So then he started just painting like patterns in squares, and then you back up, and it's like it's a human being's face. Like it looks. That's a famous example.
That's
He's
a
very
famous example. That's what I'm looking to provide.
And then
here.
just like there's a lot of things that are not like photorealistic, and like
what happened to his hands?
he got in a car accident or some kind of accident to that degree. And so then he started painting this. So you back up and it's full photorealism. You go up close and it's just like
That's very
colorful
cool.
squares.
I think my citizens will like that.
Because it has everything.
It has everything.
It's wide reaching. It has the abstraction, but then you move away and it's impressive.
Perfect. Do you think this will be good for citizens?
It's known to be good. It's been known to be good for people.
Should we offer like a
They should do workshops at this stupid gallery too.
right? You think so, right?
Let's make a quilt. Let's make a city quilt. Everyone gets 150 squares for everybody.
Yeah.
Let's make it like an AIDS quilt, but for happiness.
Chelsea and I, obviously, we came up with our own education system previously, kind of talk amongst yourself education system.
Yeah.
And I think under that umbrella, there'll be an aspect like talk amongst yourself to
a
build
community
some art.
center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
community center.
Talk amongst yourselves.
We're gonna have an art gallery. Can I
It needs a brick and mortar.
can I propose one thing?
Okay.
Can we have it underground in a bunker?
Why?
I'd like to have it underground.
Hey, there's some positives to that because sunshine's really bad for paint.
You'll take my bunker?
Yeah. I'll take a bunker. That's
Okay.
gonna be more expensive that way. Are you cool with
It
that?
doesn't matter. Folks, Chelsea's agreed to have a bunker underground for her art gallery. So that's amazing. Are you happy with that? Is that okay?
That's cool. But again, I'm not welcome to this. Like, I can't live here.
Not yet. So with anyone who brings any concepts here, I introduce, I welcome them back to apply for citizenship at a later date. Man, I don't know. I'm happy with it.
All right.
I think my citizens are going to be very pleased with this whole thing.
Okay. As long as I bring them photorealism, no one's upset with photorealism.
Okay.
They're all dumb.
Jesus. As citizens, I want you to know you are not dumb at all.
Enjoy your sports arena. What's the name of the sport?
You know, there's cynics. There's cynics in this world, and I want everyone to realize that. Chelsea, you're welcome to come.
They have
anytime.
cars?
No, there's no cars yet.
Oh, they're just awful.
They're walking. They're by foot. They're by foot.
Boo.
Yeah.
It's the kind of people who would come here.
Yeah, I know.
That's fair.
We'll get cars in eventually. I'll talk to a mechanic once I meet one. Once I have friends who have been around metal. But yeah,
All right. I hope that was helpful.
that was absolutely a treat. We got an education system out of you. We got an art gallery from you, and I think that it's been our pleasure. Well, now this time I cannot complain. I would be a fool to complain. We not only have an art gallery with 5 distinct pieces that represent what art means, what it can do, how it can help, how it can fuel you, how it can frustrate you, and that's fine. Whatever, that's cool. But we have a bunker. So the art gallery's in a bunker. So the art's going to be in a bunker, and I think that's pretty cool. I will have pamphlets with all 5 pieces on it. I'll be handing them out to every citizen. I'll hand the pamphlets out, which I guess kind of defeats the purpose of going to the gallery. But you should go. It's in a bunker. It's really cool. It's beside the Rathball Stadium. So if you're, after a game, swing on by, cool down there, then get some poutine, or as the French call it, poutine, or eat whatever you want to call it. You just eat it, survive. We're making this happen. And that art gallery is, what's a society without art to criticize it? That sounds very scary to me. And I'm not a scary guy. I am the mayor. And I thank you guys. I am your mayor.